Hey there, welcome to another episode of Spoken Dreams, the podcast for rising entertainers to share their stories of chasing their dreams in Los Angeles. I'm Bobby Gonzalez. This week's story comes from Jodi Adler. An LA native, Jodi began pursuing a career in broadcast journalism after feeling unfulfilled in her previous job as a financial analyst. She began working as an anchor and reporter in LA radio, and it was then that Jodi's sarcastic and witty sense of humor really began to take a hold. With the encouragement of several coworkers, Jodi began exploring the world of stand-up comedy. That eventually led her to pursuing acting and voiceover work. She found that the world of performing, where she could channel her emotions and really showcase her sense of humor, acted as a counterbalance to the straight-faced world of broadcast journalism. It was then that Jodi drew from all her career and life experiences and developed a new character and persona. Enter Auntie Jodi. Auntie Jodi is described as the coach for people who don't believe in personal coaches. With her own brand of comedic sarcasm and sass, Auntie Jodi offers up her tips on how to deal with the trudge and toils of everyday life. Jodi can now add the title of author to her versatile resume, as she's collected Auntie Jodi's quick quips in a new book, How Dare You? Helpful Hints for Staying Sane in an Insane World.
Hi, I'm Jodi Adler. I am an actor, a voiceover actor, a writer, the puppet master behind Auntie Jodi of Auntie Jodi's Helpful Hints, and I'm a native Angelino. I'm not the first generation in my family to be involved in the entertainment industry. My mom's father was an opera singer and a singer, and he came out from St. Louis to sing in the movies and did a little bit of that. And then my mom worked at William Morris before she got married and lived happily ever after with my dad. And my dad, he was a CPA who had a lot of clients who were in the entertainment industry. So it's kind of been there, but in the background. And we weren't necessarily encouraged to be in the entertainment industry, but we were taught that people who are in the entertainment industry are just one of the regular people. And I can remember as a child being in the grocery store, and I think it was Farrah Fawcett was picking out vegetables. And the whole grocery store, all of the employees, the people, they were coming into the vegetable section to see Farrah Fawcett pick out her peaches. And my mom, who was pushing us in the cart and everything, she said, no, don't pay any attention. She's just another person. And we went on to the dairy section, and we went on that. And that's how I grew up. It's like, these are people, this is their job, and they are treated as normal human beings. So with all that normalcy, out popped this wacky Auntie Jodi and Jodi Adler with all of these crazy and not so crazy ideas I have for my life. I started out as a financial analyst after college, and I would sit in my little gray cubby reading the Wall Street Journal every day. And one day I had this epiphany. I said to myself, why am I reading the Wall Street Journal? I can write. I should be writing for the Wall Street Journal. So I quit and went back to grad school. And when I was in journalism grad school, instead of print, I absolutely fell in love with broadcast journalism. It became my new love. And I decided I was going to get back to LA at a radio station before I turned 30. And I went to a station in Palm Springs, and I went to a station up in Ventura, and then I landed back here in LA. And it was great fun, and I learned so much, and I made so many good friends. But there's huge differences between being in the broadcast world and being in the acting or entertaining world. You're supposed to turn off your emotions to be a broadcast journalist. You're supposed to. In order to be an actor or a stand-up or a voiceover actress, you have to have your emotions turned on. You have to be aware of everything. You can't block things out. I remember being in newsrooms and horrific things were going on. I mean, people were being murdered, there were earthquakes, there was crazy stuff, it's just the world, right? And there's gallows humor, there's black humor. That's how journalists deal with the misery of it. There came a time, I was in the booth, you're in a booth. And when you're in radio, the commercials are on, and if somebody's not yelling at you through the headphones or whatever, telling you what to do, you talk. And there were people in the booth with me, and a couple of them at different times said, "Oh, Jodi, you're funny. You should be doing stand-up." So, of course, finance, broadcast, stand-up is next. So I started doing stand-up. There's nothing as much fun. I don't know if there's anything as much fun in life as being on stage alone as a stand-up and having people laugh at you. It's just a high like nothing else. So I did that for a while, and I had people telling me that, oh, you need to get a sitcom. You are perfect sitcom material. So I started studying acting for quite a long time at a place called Playhouse West, and their Meisner technique is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances, which was really good for me because some of the other techniques, they want you to dredge up childhood hurts and all these problems that you had growing up, and where's the wood? Knock wood. I was blessed. I had a really nice, idyllic childhood. So that the other techniques didn't work for me, but using my imagination to bring all these characters to life, that was really fun. That was fun. I came up with Auntie Jodi one day when I was at a party, and believe it or not, about 5 years ago, someone asked me my sign. It's like, really? You asked me my sign? So I told them I was a Taurus. No, I'm really not a Taurus. And she started telling me how much I'm like a Taurus, and I'm all this, and I'm all... And then finally I said, as she was going on, oh, really? You know, I'm really not a Taurus. I'm a Leo. She goes, that is such a Leo thing to be doing. I know. I knew you weren't really a Taurus. And, you know, she's like telling me how I'm a Taurus and all this. And you know what the next thing's going to be. I'm not a Leo. I'm not a Taurus. I'm neither of the above. So I made her guess what I was. Because I'm not a Taurus. I'm not a Leo. And I really don't know if I believe in all that, so I decided that let's write this down. When someone asks your sign at a party, just make it up. And they will believe whatever you tell them, and then you'll be able to have a little wink and fun with them and engage in conversation in ways that you never thought would happen. And I wrote it on Facebook. I said, you know, when you're at a party and someone asks your sign, just make it up. And I got like 150 likes or something, and someone said, oh, you should write this. And then so I started writing Auntie Jodi helpful holiday hints with, you know, if you find that you've drunk too much at a party, you know, just take a little nap on your host's settee. And before you leave in the morning, leave a little gratuity under the knickknacks, because that's the right thing to do when you spend the night in a strange place. It was just me kind of doing stand-up in written form, because people like to laugh. And I do think that the best way to communicate with anyone is through humor, if they're willing to listen. After posting all these things on Facebook for a while, I had a friend who was an editor, and she said, you need to stop putting these up there because you're giving them away for free, and they need to be in a book. And that was, you know, it was like, I've written articles in newspapers and magazines. I write for myself, but a book. Okay, a book. And if I can do it through the Auntie Jodi character, who is a lot more bold than I have ever been. You know, she's kind of like the aunt who drinks a martini and tells everybody off in the nicest possible way. I had a very nice friend tell me the other day that I'm sharp and to the point, but it also comes with a warmth. So that was just a bit of gold, you know, because we can't really analyze ourselves. I don't know if you can analyze yourself, but we can't. We see ourselves from the inside. So I think I'm going to adopt that as Auntie's new mantra. She's sharp and to the point, but with warmth. How's that? When I got a proof of the book in the mail, now the editor told me, hold, don't do anything with it. I want you to read through it. You need to look for, you know, mistakes, typos, things you don't like, and that sort of thing. But I was so excited. I took a picture and I posted it. And of course the editor saw it and he said, what are you doing? It's not ready yet. I said, oh, I can't control myself. It's crazy. It makes you feel like you've actually accomplished something in life. Something that says, I've been here on planet Earth, and this is how I want you to remember me. And I'm really proud of it. So I kind of feel like I've accomplished my purpose, if I say that, I've accomplished my purpose in life, then everything's dead, right? So I've accomplished one of my purposes in life, and it's kind of a little thrill. My next step, I think, would be to combine everything. So, and total world media domination, of course. So if I combine everything, if I take the Auntie Jodi character who gives advice, and I take the comedy and I take the broadcast, then it seems to me that what Auntie Jodi should be doing is like an advice show. Why not? Auntie Jodi should be giving advice, writing columns, being on air, having your own podcast. I think Auntie Jodi is kind of the coach for people who don't believe in personal coaches or who are embarrassed to say they want one, right? Because, let's not pull punches. You remember the movie Moonstruck, where Cher slaps Nicolas Cage? She slaps Nicolas Cage and she says, "Snap out of it," right? Well, people snap out of it. I mean, I have to help myself to snap out of it too, and that's why I write them. It's cathartic for me to write them, and I hope that in some way I can combine everything and put it out there. But mostly I think that what I'd like to do is I'd like to combine it as Auntie Jodi, the Ask Amy for the humorous set. People who want to look at life with humor. Because I think God gave us humor in order to get through some of the mess that's around us. And that's what it's all about. You can continue to be nasty and mean to other people. And I agree with standing up to yourself. And my whole life has been about stopping the bullies. Because I know it's hard to believe, but I was the quietest girl in elementary school, the shyest girl you could ever meet. But we find a way out of it, right? My way out of it was reporting. My way out of it was stand-up, acting, writing, and doing podcasts. We all find a way out of whatever our little torment is, and then we use it. If you decide what you want to do and you work toward it, you'll get there. And the reason I say that is I have had so many people in my life tell me no. Not my parents, but people in the outside world. It's like, "Oh, Jodi, why are you leaving broadcasting? You're good at it." No. Don't change careers now. You're not gonna, how are you gonna do that? Let's all get scared and let's all worry about that. And how does that serve you other than putting fear into you? And yes, you should have fear. Fear is a good thing because it helps you prepare. But if everybody listened to all the naysayers, then, we'd all still be in huts. No electricity, no running water, and that is awful. No champagne, no Prosecco, no martinis. I mean, that would be awful. So a lot of people are told to, tone it down, and that's all about control, not appreciating your individuality, not going for what it is you really want to go. I mean, of course it's easier to tone it down and not go for what you want. But I think that is why so many people are miserable. And so, of course, I had to write a hint about that. Here it is. It's a little bit of a long one. Here. Never let the beige brigade overpower your pizzazz. Remember, any efforts to squelch your quirky point of view are just efforts to control from the scared dullards in your world. Be brave and always be yourself. No doubt you'll end up happier and most likely will incorporate the beige brigade into your own growing entourage. So, be yourself. And if you're quirky and odd and all that other stuff, embrace it. Because there's no one else like you.
That was Jodi Adler. If you'd like more helpful hints from Auntie Jodi, or would like to check out her book, How Dare You? Helpful Hints for Staying Sane in an Insane World, I'll have some links on the webpage, ktla.com/spokendreams. You can stay up to date with the podcast by liking the Spoken Dreams Facebook page or following me on Twitter @SpokenDreamsPod. I also hope that you'll subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get podcasts. This show is always free, and you'll be the first to receive new episodes every Monday. And don't forget, I'm always happy to receive your emails. You can reach me at spokendreams@ktla.com. I'll leave you with one final helpful hint from Jodi. You certainly can question authority, just don't doubt Auntie J. Until next time, break a leg. Spoken Dreams is produced by me, Bobby Gonzalez, for the KTLA 5 News in Los Angeles. Executive producers are Olson Ebright and Jason Ball. And I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you thought of this week's story, or even tell me your own story. You can shoot me an email at spokendreams@ktla.com.